What I wanted to do is, while you're still ordinary Joes, you don't yet live in enormous houses, I want to try imagining, okay, you've become famous, and you're living in a big house, and you got a lot of fancy new stuff that you never had before. How it's going to change your life, your everyday life, all right? Can we take a look at that, all right? Let's imagine that you, Gabrielle, for the first time in your life, you have coasters. Imagine you've never seen coasters before. You don't even know what they are. That's pretty easy to imagine because I don't know what they are. I've never seen them before. You actually haven't seen coasters before? Well, no. Well, what are they? All right, this is a coaster. It's like a decoration? No, it's not like a decoration. What do you think? It's a doily? You think it's a ceramic doily? They don't make things like that. It's a coaster. You use it. You use it for what? Can I take a look at it? Can I see? Yeah, go ahead. It's pretty heavy. I guess it's kind of pretty. Do they all look the same way? No, they're very different, but they're basically about the same size, and they're round or they're square. Okay, well, I just don't understand what they're for. You're calling it a coaster? Is it like, do they come from the coast? Or do they kind of coast around by themselves? Like you push them and maybe some of them have little wheels or something? No, okay, it's not that. Okay? I don't know why we call them coasters, all right? But this is the idea. Yeah, you're moving it around. Okay, very funny. Okay, you want to be part of the scene. Is that what's going on here?
Yes.
You are so desperate to be part of any scene whatsoever, you will interfere right in the middle of a scene. Is that what I'm understanding?
No.
If you want to have a role, okay, we'll consider it, okay? I'll talk to the casting director, meaning myself. I'll talk to myself. I'll try to convince myself to give you a part, all right? But don't be putting your mitts into the middle of the frame. You're filming your own self? Come on, what is that? You want to film yourself? You go in front of a mirror, all right? When I'm not around, all right? When nobody's around. You get yourself a big mirror, full length, all right? You turn on the camera and you do 1,000,000 selfies. You do a whole biopic on yourself if you want to, all right? But don't interrupt my scene, okay? We're talking about coasters. This is not a trivial matter. Gabrielle does not know what a coaster is. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
All right. Can we go on? Oh, yeah, it didn't bother me. I don't care if it bothered you. You're not the director here. Well, I was the director before. Okay, but you're not the director right now, okay? We're doing something else anyway. Oh, sorry. Now, what I'm saying is that these coasters, all right? What they are is you put your drinks on them. You put your drinks on them. What do you mean? All right, well, if you've got a glass, you're drinking out of a glass, you set it down on the coaster. You set it down on the coaster. Why? All right. Well, because it's convenient. It's a convenient place for your glass or your cup. A convenient place for it. Well, what if I'm in the kitchen drinking? Every time I set down the cup, I'd have to come into this room and put it on. No, you can move the coasters around. They're not that heavy. They're a lot lighter than the table. You're not going to move the table from here and there. All right. You move the coaster around with your drink. So like if I'm at a cocktail party and I've got a drink, I should have to carry around a coaster like in my pocket. A cocktail party is different. They've got coasters all over the room. Oh, people have like a lot of coasters? All right, if you have a family and all those people drink something, well, you think they're gonna take turns using the coaster? Well, I don't know. I never thought of it. How could I have thought of that if I'd never seen a coaster before? I mean, come on, use your head, little wolf. All right, I was being sarcastic, all right? If you want me to tell you directly, if it's a family, then they have more than one coaster. They have at least one coaster for every member of the family if they're well off enough. I see. Okay, and it's a special convenient place for your glass. You can carry it around. It's about the size of the cup, but the table's better because you could just set it down even without looking. Here you'd have to kind of aim. You'd have to go, okay, glass in hand, eagle eye, bearing 210, coming in for a landing. Look, once you get used to it, you set it down right away, even without looking, if you know where it is. Okay, I still don't understand. What is the raison detre of something like a coaster? What is it for? It protects the surface of the table, or whatever surface the coaster is resting on. It protects the surface. Does it have something on the underside here? Is this like special protective material? If you set your glass down on the coaster, all right, then if the condensation on the glass, all right, if there's water, then a ring will form on the coaster and not on your table. A ring will form like a circle. Well, yeah, a circle. Well, circles are beautiful, and water is beautiful. Don't people love beautiful circles made out of water? Some people probably do, but it stains the furniture. Stains, but the water doesn't it just evaporate? All right, well, sometimes, the dust gets mixed in with it, or maybe some food particles or something, and then it sort of builds up, and the ring becomes permanent on your table or your furniture. Well, maybe some people like rings. I mean, I've seen tables with like designs on them that look like a bunch of rings. This would be like a do-it-yourself sort of table design. All right, some people might want that. I will allow that. Okay, but what I'm saying is that most people don't want their furniture ruined by drinks, so they use coasters. You're telling me that when I become really rich, all right, that I'm going to take that money, that hard-earned money that I earned by actually doing something and working, and I'm going to spend it on something that just makes more work than it's worth for me, carrying it around and thinking about it and buying it and then making sure that the color matches, it's color-coded, or it matches the furniture, and all that's just for something that I don't even need, I've never even heard about in my life, and you're telling me that if I get a lot of money and become rich, then that's going to make my life better? It seems like it's going to make my life worse. You can, of course, choose not to buy coasters for your furniture if you don't mind the furniture having rings on it, okay? But you will come into contact with people who do have coasters, and they will ask you when you come to visit them to set your drink down on the coaster that they provide you with. Oh, can't I just go somewhere and have a nice conversation without having to worry about coasters? I mean, what kind of a world are we living in that the more successful you are, the more trouble everything is? Look, it's not that much trouble, and some people have coasters with interesting designs. So we have to discuss the coasters? I go to my friend's house for advice, and I have to talk about oh, I see you have new coasters. Where did you get those coasters? And he'll say, oh, I found them at this market. You have to go to this market, and then I'll describe all the coasters, and I'll listen about the coasters, and then maybe feel envious and jealous that he has better coasters than I do. Then I'll run out and buy some coasters. Going from being ordinary Joes to having to keep up with the Joneses all the time, that's not a step up. That's a step laterally into some sort of parallel reality where my life is worse. I don't understand this. Maybe I should quit right now. Maybe I should just say, I don't want to be famous. I'm not going to be an actor. And don't give me any awards. I don't need a star in front of Graham's Theater or wherever they have these stupid stars that Miguel was supposedly cleaning with his spit. I don't want any of that. I want out of this right now. I don't want to clutter up my life with coasters. All right, Gabriel, look, even if you choose, when you become famous, not to acquire coasters and not to visit anybody who has coasters, all right? If you're going to, play a role in the theater, the film of a wealthy person who has coasters, you're going to have to be able to work with them, at least on the level of working with props. I could do that if it's a prop, like if it's in the script. Somebody tells me, you're going to work with this, I'll learn how to work with that. All right, very good. May I propose that we move on from coasters to something a little bit more interesting? Furniture. Furniture. Yes, furniture. All right, so when you become famous, you will have to buy a very big house and furnish it with furniture. Furnish it with furniture. Furniture, you need like tables and chairs. That is right. They have different kinds of tables. Well, yeah, they can. How are they different? Well, they can be different sizes, or made from different materials, or different shapes, or you have a lot. Mainly you have a lot of them, all right? A lot of tables. I don't know why I would need a lot of tables. I mean, why would I could only eat on one table at a time, or do they actually take one big table and put it at the bottom, and then stack another table on top of that table.
And another table, and you get a very high stack.
Oh, yeah.
And then you have a very high stool, and you sit on it and eat. And then you have to put all the tables down. I mean, that's going to take a very long time.
Well, yeah. Do people do that? No, people do not stack their tables one on top of the other. You can choose to eat in different parts of the house, different rooms of the house. Each of them would have a table, different rooms. Where do you think you're going to put the furniture? You're going to have a lot of rooms. I don't understand. I can only be in one room at a time. Why would I need a lot of rooms? Look, there's different things you can do in different rooms. If you want a change of pace, you want to look at one set of wallpaper and then they go into another room, look at different wallpaper. Different wallpaper. I don't really look at the wallpaper. Do people look at their wallpaper? It seems to me that if you have all sorts of different rooms with different wallpaper and you're constantly thinking about it and moving around because you want to look at the different things, even though you've seen them a million times, but you're still moving around and looking at them, is that going to be really so interesting? I mean, to talk about all that kind of stuff? All right, I'm just trying to let you know what it's like for people who are rich and famous, who are famous.
They have a very bad life.
Is this some kind of trick, little wolf? Are you trying to trick me? Are you trying to describe the life of a famous person in such a way that I don't want to become famous? So if somebody says to me, "Oh, Gabrielle, you did a really good job with that film," I'll say, "You have to give all the credit to Little Wolf. He told me everything to do. He manipulated me, and I didn't think of anything myself." Is that what you want? Is that your trick? All right, this is not a trick. I'm not trying to make it sound worse than it is. I'm trying to describe it the way it is. All right, so that you know, so I can see your okay, I guess this is your natural reaction. I guess you're not trying to show off, keeping up with the Joneses and proving to your social, inferiors or superiors that you're worthy of them, or they're not worthy of you, or they are worthy of you by knowing everything about coasters and furniture and whatnot. I guess this is your natural reaction, so I guess that's what I wanted. I guess you get what you pay for. I'm not sure exactly what you mean by that. You haven't paid me anything yet, but I don't need that. I suppose I was in this just for the fame, but now you've kind of convinced me that I shouldn't be in this for the fame, and so I guess I would just rather have a good time.
Actually, all that we need in the life, we just need, nature. We don't even have to live in the house. We could just live somewhere outside. When it's not warm, we could kind of go to different countries and stay in different countries and not have all of these things and enjoy the life and be with the birds and things like that.
Well, yeah, think about it, Little Wolf. I mean, what are we, the second generation of urbanized wolves? I mean, think of our predecessors. They just lived out in the jungle or the forests. They didn't have furniture, let alone coasters. But I don't think their lives were worse, do you? No, I do not think their lives were necessarily worse, okay? They were just different.